Good morning, Booktube. It's Louise, the big head bookworm. Lovely to see you. Hope you are well. And here we are at the start of a brand new vlog. Woohoo! So the last vlog, I started off at 3:20 in the morning, and it was very, very early. So it is now about 9:30. It is Thursday. We've been here for 5 days so far, and we're all very relaxed. And I have just found this little spot, which I think is going to be grand for recording, because A, I'm in a nice swishy chair, and I can do that, but also you get to see a bit of the room that I'm in. So I had 1 or 2 questions that were people posed on the last vlog, which was lovely. I'm having difficulty pulling up the comments because we don't have any signal where we're staying. So it's only when we go to places that I can actually log on and have a look through and try and read them. I'm not even getting time to actually comment on anything, but I am reading, and I am going to go through and read everybody's. So I had 1 or 2 questions about where we are. We are in St Agnes. We're about a mile north of St Agnes, so we're right on the coast. The sea is that way, about half a mile down to that beach that I showed you last time. So that's our closest beach. It's about half a mile that way down a twisty road, and that's where we go. St Agnes is that way, and it's about a mile. And St Agnes is about 3/4 of the way down on the north coast of Cornwall. It is a lovely little, it's more than a village, but slightly less than a town kind of place. We've been coming here for about 20 years. This is somebody in the family's home, and they keep it as a kind of a house that everybody can use. They are so generous, and we're able to come and stay here, and it's all set up for people to come and stay all the year round. People do live here as well, so it's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. So whilst it is a holiday home that we can come to, it also feels like being with, it is like being in a proper home as well. So it has that lovely warm feeling about it, and we know it so well. We know this whole area so well, so that's absolutely excellent. Benedict has been reading, and he's finished 2 books now, and I will grab him at some point today and I'll get him to show you the books that he's been reading. He's been doing some good readings. What else are we doing? Surfing wise, yes, the beaches that we go to we tend to just boogie board on, because we are spongers. So the husband and I used to be able to go out beyond the breakers with our fins on and go and do the proper surfing at the back, but nowadays with Benedict we stay in the shore and we just sponge. And so there are beaches that you can go and swim, but they tend to be swamped with people using the kind of the small boards. There are areas that you can swim as well. So, and then there are on the beaches there are designated surfing spots, and there are designated kind of swimming and playing around spots as well. So we go to beaches that normally are more designed for surf, which is the north coast. The north coast gets stronger waves, tends to get cleaner, stronger waves than the south coast, and it is closer for us, so we tend to go here. Weather-wise, if you tend to be if it's cloudy on the north, it sometimes is a really good idea to go to the south, because you do get clearer days and vice versa. Although some days it just rains. But today we are on a cloudy, but I think it's going to brighten up kind of a day, and we are going to go to the beach, hence beach hair. So I put this in because you can find out that a lot of surfers will wear plaits and that kind of stuff, because it's a lot easier if you've got long hair. It's out of your face and nothing happens. So what have I been reading? I have finished Brotherhood in Death by J.D. Robb, and that's downstairs in the bedroom, so I can't show it to you. So imagine that I'm holding it up. So yes, I finished that yesterday. It's a really good one. I think it's the 40th or the 41st or whatever like that in the series. There are 2 that are out in paperback beyond that. So there is Apprentice in Death and I want to say Shock in Death. I can't remember. But there are 2 more. And next time we go to Truro, I might well go and see if I can get them, because I really enjoyed it. It was a perfect read for here. because we're so far into the series, they can feel very familiar. And I would say that this reminded me of several of others that she's written in the In Death series. There were themes in it that she's explored in previous books, but I still really enjoyed it, and I think it was a good example of a J.D. Robb crime book. So I really enjoyed that. And then, so I started last night True Crime Addict by James Rinner. Now, I think this is going to be an interesting one. So it is a memoir and a true crime. So it's about the disappearance of Maura Murray. And I can see why people say to me it is kind of a memoir, not a memoir. So I can totally understand that, and I think the thing that's going to be interesting is whether or not I like James Rinner by the end of the book. Because at the moment, I'm not finding him a very likeable chap, and it is very much his story as well. But that's kind of good. I'm finding it interesting as to why I am not comfortable with him, and what's the push-pull about this. So although it isn't a straight true crime book, there is something else involved in it. I'm liking that. I'm liking the fact that there is more to it than that. So that's a thumbs up for me so far. So I am on page 64, and it is I can feel that this is going to be a gripping, quick read. Whether or not I like it at the end, I don't know. But at the moment, I am enjoying it, and I shall be continuing on with that. And then I'm going to say the other thing, I didn't do much reading last night. I finished my J.D. Robb, and then I didn't do much reading last night. I really wanted to do some knitting. So for everybody else that's not involved with knitting, you may leave now, come back in a few minutes. So there's now just going to be 3 of us sat here. Wanted to talk about knitting. So I always like, when I come on holiday, I like to give myself a project. I like to kind of give myself something new to crack on with, so that I'm not just doing the same old, so it feels different when I'm on holiday. And I'm actually doing this lovely vintage pattern, and that's what I started. So I've been doing I just finished the cuff on the back. I got very bored by doing 1 by 1 rib, I will be honest. And there we go. I'll show you something else as well. The husband and I have been doing this thing where I've been doing plates of fruit in the morning. So I wanted to do, as for the last couple of mornings, so I have breakfast, but I've also been doing plates of fruit that we would sit and eat as well. So I've been trying to demonstrate. I've been trying to demonstrate, that's not the right word, display them so that they look all fancy. So I'll show you what the husband's done today, because it's very good. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? So what has it got in it, husband? Come and talk me through your fruit platter for this morning.
Right, strawberries.
Strawberries.
Apples.
Apples.
You've got nectarine.
Yes.
Squished nectarine.
Squished nectarine, yum, my favourite.
And the blackberries.
Ah, isn't that beautiful? So that is our fruit platter for today. Where are we going, Benedict?
Ravonan's Cove.
Are you going to do some surfing?
Yes.
Have you got your board in the car?
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yes.
So here we are at Trevornance Cove. So this is the other beach that is close to where we stay. And it is not so full of windbreaks. We're about an hour, 2 hours away from low tide. So we've got a good long while. And here comes Benedict. He has been in the sea.
Only for a little bit.
Only for a little bit.
Been waiting.
Yes. And what is your assessment of the sea?
Really good.
Yeah?
It's not that cold.
No. And the waves? Tough? Easy?
waves can be getting stronger, but not the strongest.
No.
They're not strongest, but they're not that strong, but they're really big.
Cool. Looks good down there. The sea's gone out and we are just enjoying sitting on the beach, sat in my wetsuit on the beach, and I'm carrying on with my True Crime Addict. I shall read this for the next half an hour and then probably go back in the sea. So here we are. What time is it? What time is it, husband?
So 20 to 5.
20 to 5, and we are having what is described as millionaire's shortbread. Why is it called millionaire's shortbread? Do millionaires like shortbread?
Well, they do with caramel and chocolate, yeah.
I only like it with caramel and chocolate. Otherwise it's just any old person. Commoner shortbread. Sorry, sweetie. Sorry,
It's
Benedict.
actually just caramel.
Okay, Benedict's correcting us on exactly what it is, but there we are. We've had a fantastic day in the water, haven't we?
So,
Benedict, you're going to have to bellow. Have you had a good day in the water?
Yes!
Okay, there we go. Oh, yes, okay. Yum. Is it focusing on that, or is it just focusing on that fine figure of a gentleman walking past? Well done, sir. There we are. Here I am, sat after having a fantastic time with my... Quite nice. I wouldn't say it was worth a million.
I was going to say, if I was a millionaire, I'd be slightly disappointed.
There we are, Booktube. It's been the end of a gorgeous day. We've had hazy sunshine all day. We've been at this beautiful cove all day. We've done lots of swimming and surfing. Benedict has played in the waves most of the day. Let's see if I can take that off. There we go. Oh, there we go. There we go. And he's absolutely shattered, bless him. And we are just about to pack up because the sea's coming in now. And so I thought I would tell you my thoughts on True Crime Addict. I have that much left, so I doubt that my opinion is going to change much. Sorry, I just moved you about them. So I'll give you a quick update as to what I thought of it. I have found it utterly gripping. I know it was a memoir, as well as true crime, but it's almost like it's kind of the unvarnished truth of what it's actually like to get obsessed into a true crime case and all the obstacles that you would meet. And especially, this is a journalist who's used to investigating true crimes and is known for his obsessive tendencies. And I really liked it. I really liked it. I have to say, it kind of made me think, because I've always kind of wondered whether I would, you know, because I love crime so much and I adored Anne Rule's book so many times, and I thought, you know, could I have a go at doing something like that? And I think the answer is no. I couldn't. It's the depth that people have to go to. I'm just not that deep. It cuts me to say, but I am quite shallow. So I don't think I have that in me. And actually that's been quite something to discover that. And especially reading this, it just made me think, no, the commitment it takes to actually really work on these things and to put together all the facts, and that you're willing to go into somebody's head who's, I don't think you really want to go into. So, you know, he talks about all the people that he gets obsessed with, and also he's very open as to his own tendencies and how he is not an easygoing, likeable chap. I do not get that feeling about him, and actually I'm so glad I read it, and I'm so glad that he was as honest as he was about it, and what, you know, the rage that he has felt, and the fact that he's on medication, and how if he's not on medication he has the utter highs and lows and isn't so controlled. I thought that was really fabulous. I thought it was really good. It's been a real insight into somebody, and not just into what's happened about the crime, which is fascinating, absolutely fascinating, but also the author himself. So whoever it was that recommended this to me, I think I want to say it's crazy for books, but if it is, then my darling, you know I love you anyway. But I really appreciate whoever it was that recommended it to me, and the people that have been saying that they've been thinking about reading it. If you like true crime, then I utterly recommend it. I have flown through it today, and it's been such a good read. It really has been such a good read. So there we go. That's my review of that. So I've only got 100. Let's work out how many pages I've got left. It's 200. I'm on 250. So I've got like 30 pages. So I will, at some point, waiting for a kettle to boil or something like that, I will finish this off, and I'm really pleased. So I don't know what I'm going to read next. Tomorrow is looking like we're going to have another day in the sea because Benedict wants to, and he just is being such a good lad at the moment. So, you know, and somebody was asking about his foot and the fact he doesn't have his boot on. We are trying not to have his boot on. Some days having to wear it because his foot's getting tired and therefore starting to hurt. But he's doing really, really well, and we're doing strengthening exercises, and his heel doesn't seem to be hurting nearly as much. So I think we have cracked it. So he is managing to get about, and I think actually doing all of this surfing and walking on sand and what have you is strengthening his muscles and is helping stretch his tendons and what have you. So yeah, so that's good. That's good too. So all's good at the moment. I hope you are having a lovely day wherever you are. I know you're not going to see this for a couple of days, but know that I am thinking of you here and now. I am thinking of you, Booktube. All my love to you. See you later. It is my Friday update. I know. Is it Friday already? Whew, this week is zooming past, quite frankly, Booktube. Zooming it is. We were going to go to the beach today. We were going to nip into Truro because there were one or two things that I wanted to get, and then we were going to drive down to Penzance and go to St Michael's Mount, which is an island that you can walk to across a causeway if the tide is right. And we thought the tide was going to be right today for us to just wander across there. Never been through all the years that we've been coming down to Cornwall. Never been. I thought it'd be really lovely to go there, and then go to a beach down that area. But we got into Truro, and Benedict isn't feeling well. He just said he wasn't feeling right, and his colour wasn't right. He was complaining of a sore throat, and just obviously wasn't feeling 100%. So rather than trog all our way down there and him not feel great and him not enjoy it, we just pootled around Truro and then came home and have spent the rest of the day having a quiet day. So I think it has made a difference to him because his colour is definitely brighter and he definitely seems a bit better. And so I've done some reading, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to just catch up with you and see what you're doing, and to show you some of the things that I shopped for. So I did buy some books, but first I'm going to show you my other things, because I quite like it when other people show me things that they've bought. If you're not into that, bear with for a minute and then we'll get on to the books. Okay? Right. Okay. So I needed some towels. Oh, well, I've got hundreds of towels at home. But I didn't bring enough towels for beach and home. I just, and so we've been kind of juggling the towels, and I just thought, I'm going to just flap my hair at you. I say, I do beg your pardon. So I bought some towels. So I thought, well, some of our towels are quite old, but I got 3 lovely big bath sheets. Can you see? Oh, yum. So I got this from Marks and Spencer's. Oh, I'm not sure. There you are, Marks and Spencer's. So I got this lovely plum, and then I got a lovely grape. That's what I'm calling it. That's not what they call it. And then I got this, which I'm calling blush. So yeah, so those are my 3 colours. So there are 3 enormous bath sheets. So they are lovely and super soft, big enormous towels. So I got that. So there we go. So I got those. Shove them on the floor. I also did. Oh, excuse me. I also got some wool for the wool enthusiasts, all 3 of us. I got some Stylecraft Special DK. Now this is my go-to wool for anything. So if I'm doing any animals or any kind of anything that I just want to have go. Blankets, it's so reasonable, and you get such a fantastic array of colours. And I have virtually all of the colours, not in full balls, but I do have all of them. But anyway, this is soft peach, and I needed to get that. And then I got the 3 latest colours that have been released, because I do collect them, as I was saying. So I got vintage peach, I got buttermilk, and I got mushroom. They're not particularly shades I would automatically go for. There we go, look at that. But they are quite lovely, and they will do my collection. So there we go. So I should now juggle them, but I can't. I'm not going to juggle with them. So yeah, so I'm taking those home. So it was just because I know of a place that's on the market, and she basically carries the whole of the range, and so I can go there and I can go and have a look at the wools while I'm there and chat to her about it. So yes, that's what I got. Oh, I finished that yesterday. Oh, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I was talking to the husband about it last night, and he actually said, oh, it actually sounds really good. And I'm like, it is really good. So I read that. Because I finished that the other day, Brotherhood in Death, I was talking about the next 2 that are out, and I went to Waterstones and I bought Apprentice in Death, which is the next one. And then the one after that isn't Shock, it's Echoes in Death. And I did have it in my hot little hands, and I did think about buying it. But if I read this, then I shall treat myself to it and take it home to keep it. So I might read this next week, and then take the other one, Echoes in Death, to kind of have on my shelf for when I need a little JD Robb fix. So I bought that one. So yes, we went into Waterstones. I think I have a little clip of Waterstones. I'll just show you it.
Not coming up on my system, the only ones that are coming up with the puzzles. So I'm not quite sure. Yeah, under solar system I'm only getting puzzles, so it might be with something else.
So I was having a mooch around, and I saw this. Lillian Boxfish Takes a Walk. Now, I have been wanting to read this, Kathleen Rooney, since somebody recommended it to me, probably the beginning of the year, if not last year. And I have looked for it, and it was only available in America at the time, or they had a proof or something. Somebody recommended it to me and said, you would really enjoy this. I've just finished reading it. I think it was Judd, actually. And I looked for it straight away, and I couldn't get hold of it, or I could, but it was £20. And I thought, well, I'm not sure about that. So I have been waiting and waiting and waiting, but here it is. It's just come out in paperback. It is still £10. But it's a beautiful copy, and I'm just seeing it getting rave reviews. So I thought I'm going to give it a go. So it is, I gather, literary fiction. Based on a true story, Lillian Boxfish Takes a Walk paints a portrait of an extraordinary woman across the canvas of a changing America. And I believe there's quite a lot about in the 1930s in New York. So there we go. I'm going to give it a go, but I've heard lots about it, and I really fancy that. Then this was a complete cover buy. I saw this and I just thought, ooh, it's a spooky book. So you can run from your past, but you cannot escape. The Watchers by Neil Spring. Now, I have heard of this, and I can't remember when, where or what I have heard about it. I'm hoping I've only heard good things, but I can't remember. But it is a kind of spooky book, psychological drama, based on the UFO sightings in Wales in the 1970s. So it's based on that. It is fiction, but it is based on that. Apparently his previous book was called Ghost Hunters. The Ghost Hunters is based on the life of Harry Price, who was a ghost hunter in the 1940s and 50s and 60s. So he obviously has a bit of a taste for that kind of stuff. So the husband is actually going to read this next. So when I told him about it in the car, he was like, ooh. And I said, I thought you might. And he was like, yeah. So the husband is actually going to pick that up. And then lastly, I managed to find a copy of Gemina, which is by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So I managed to find a copy of this. So this is the second part. Is it a series? The Illuminae files. So Illuminae was the first one. This is the second one. It is part graphic novel, part science fiction adventure. As I'm sure you know, it's written in case files and transcripts and documents. And I really enjoyed Illuminae. I wasn't sure how I'd find it, but I really enjoyed it. And the other morning, I was sat looking at my books and I thought, do you know, I actually fancy something a little bit different, and that's what I fancied. So when I saw it, I thought, I'll have that. So those are my books that I have bought. Let me move that. So that's a nice, very tonal. Very tonal. That wasn't the plan. So yeah, so I've got those. So I've added those to my books. However, I am doing really well with my reading. So I finished True Crime Addict and I finished Brotherhood and Death. And then today I had a bit of a sit down and I read and I raced through Behind Closed Door. Behind Closed Doors? Yes, Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris, which I gather it was her first book. Is it her? I think it is a lady. It's her first one. It's a psychological thriller about you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. This seemingly perfect couple. I was quite impressed by it. It was a good, easy thriller. I liked the sense of tension, and also I think the how it shows coercive control, how it displayed that, and what that actually is like. I thought that was quite effective. I'll admit that. I thought that was. I reckon she's done some good research, or unfortunately had. No, I hope she's not had experience of it. So that, in some ways, made me feel quite uneasy because I felt a little bit like, are we using this for our entertainment? But it was showing how you could become so easily manipulated, and what we might do to get out of that. So it was quite fascinating. I did really like it. I quite liked the characters in it, apart from the baddie. So yes, that was quite good. So everybody that's been saying, oh, I read that thriller and I really enjoyed it, I can completely understand why you would enjoy it. And I thought it was a good thriller. It was a good holiday read, actually, because I was able to kind of, immerse myself into it. But it was a good quick read for me. So I've read that. So there we go. So I think I'm in the mood for this. And then I think I'm going to read my Peter F. Hamilton, which is my big science fiction, because I quite like on holiday giving time to a really big book, and I haven't done that yet. So I think that's going to be, so I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to give myself over to my really big book and sink into that for a couple of days. So there we go, Booktube. I hope you're well. Hope you're going to have a nice day. We're going to keep you quiet for the rest of the day. I think that's going to be it for our Friday. I can't believe anything exciting is going to happen for the rest of the day, just because we're giving Benedict the best chances possible to rest, and hopefully his sore throat doesn't develop into something. Tomorrow's Saturday. It tends to be changeover day, so the beaches will be quieter tomorrow. So if he is okay, we will go to a beach. That's the plan. And I hope you are well. Right, I'm going to upload all my stuff and see how it's all going. And yeah, take the rest of the day nice and easy. Okay, Booktube, bye.